this is for both of y'all. Do y'all think that moving forward, that could the Tigers offense benefit from running through Dain more? Timo came in and said, I still think we need to get more post looks into Dain and work our way out with open threes. I mean, you've seen what Dain is able to do. I mean, that no look, that touch pass to PJ
Oof,
under the basket
oof.
was so sick, dude. So sick.
Mm.
But he's shown that willingness and ability to not only make really decisive hard moves to the basket, over his shoulder. He had a little lefty fadeaway jump hook that didn't go down, but dude, it
Clean.
just
Looked clean.
clean, just
Yeah. Well,
clean.
hey, don't forget the Colby Rogers three to cut the 5-point lead to 2 for Clemson was a Dain Dainja find.
Right.
Dainja found Colby when Dain was in the paint and just ditched it out to Colby for the open corner three. And that was a great find, especially in that moment where
Yeah.
Dain could have forced the shot, whatever. But that was a great find by Dain. But
They
Roman, go
have
ahead.
they have a lot of optionality with their offense in terms of how they run things. They do a lot of stuff on the three. They do a lot of like guard on guard, picks and they do a lot of flare screens and things like that. But would you like to see them run their offense through Dain a little bit more and allow him to either facilitate or go to the basket? Roman, you first.
Yeah, you see, Dain for me is the biggest reason why I seriously doubt the Tigers have peaked at this point. Because if Memphis were at its peak right now, Dain would be averaging about 15 points a game. I mean, that's how talented of a post scorer I believe he is. I mean, I think he needs more opportunities because he simply made the most of the limited chances that he's gotten. I mean, at the end of the day, this team is always going to have to be revolving around its guard play because that's where it's the talent and the personnel and the scheming is just that. But Dain is a pretty talented big man. He's a very, very special type of post scorer. Probably the best post scorer that Penny has had in his tenure.
Absolutely.
I think he's everything that we widely expected Jordan Brown to be last season. I think that's exactly what he's been so far. And he needs more opportunities. And the good thing about playing, some of these weaker opponents in the AAC, that does give you, I think, a bit more leeway to maybe try some of those things in the future over those next few months. And the hope is that by the time you get through that schedule and you get to the NCAA tournament, you'll fully know what you're doing with Danger up to that point. And that, coupled with the guard play that you're getting right now, that is what could potentially lead to, Memphis getting to the second weekend and what have you.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm with the points. I love the points both of y'all made. What makes this Tiger offense not at its ceiling yet is because of the optionality that they have. They, like I've said this many times before. I talked about it with Kenny, you and Matt Infield, that this team has so many different ways to score the basketball. If they're not turning the ball over, this is a really good offense, y'all, because they can score on multiple levels. They can score from three, they can score the mid range, they can score in the paint, and they can. We've seen it today. We saw it against UConn. We saw it against Michigan State. They have multiple ways to score the ball if they're not turning the ball over. And Dain Dainja is one of those ways because he's such a cerebral basketball player. He knows where everyone is on the floor. He's so good with his footwork. He can finish with both hands, right, left. It doesn't matter. He's a great passer in the post. He's a very smart basketball player. So I'm with Roman. I would love to see him get more touches. And I think, as you said, with the schedule that they have in the AAC, I think they're going to find ways to get him the ball more. And if they can if they can get Danger, like you said, Roman, to 15 points a game, whew, which he can, like I think he can get to that point, man, like this, I'm with you. This, I don't think they've reached their offensive ceiling. And it's because of the turnovers. If they can lessen those turnovers per game, if they can find a way to get that to like 10 a game, then I think that offense can really take off.
Yeah, no doubt. I do think I agree with what Roman and Penny has talked about this. Penny talked about how he kind of his ultimate vision for his offense is being able to run the ball through the post. Again, you see, even with we talk about the guard play and how good it is. One of the things that's underrated about the guard play, and especially with a guy like Colby Rogers and a guy like Tyrese, is their ability, their footwork coming off of screens, of flare screens to the paint from the post. they're pretty elite with that. Colby's
Oh, yeah.
Colby's balance and his ability to absorb contact and still be up in his form is pretty elite. And that, if you remember last year, during conference play, they introduced a new wrinkle into their offense with Nick, where they would bring the ball to the high post with Nick and allow the guards to kind of rub screens off of him, and he would facilitate off the bounce or through a pass. I could legitimately see them doing that with Dain quite a bit this especially during conference play. I mean, it's a long season, so I'm sure they're going to constantly be adding new wrinkles to the offense, and I do think that one of those will be facilitating through Dain. I think that's going to be an interesting wrinkle, and I think it might unlock some things that that will help the Tigers as they move forward into the tournament time.